Let us discuss how to determine the order of reaction. Different methods to determine the order of reaction. Total 5 different methods are there to determine order of reaction. So let us see one by one. The first method is using integrated rate equations. The reaction under study means the reaction for which we want to determine the order of reaction is performed by taking different initial concentrations of the reactant, say small a, and concentration of the reactant, that is A minus X, is determined after regular time interval t, at different time intervals t, that is t1, t2, t3, like that, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. The experimental values of A minus X and T are then substituted into the integrated rate equations for the first, second and third order reactions. So for this method you must know all integrated rate equations. So here if we know the value of A minus X and T, so we can determine the K. So as value of A changes, because we are taking different sets, we are taking different initial concentrations of the reactant. So as value of A changes, the K should change in that manner only. A minus X also change, but the K remains constant. If the K remains constant, then we say the reaction follows first order reaction. But if the K changes with respect to A, then we say it is not first order reaction. The K should remain constant. It also depends on the other reactants. Similar way, for second order and third order, we put the values of X, A and A minus X, and in this way we come to know the value of K. So the experimental values of A minus X and T are then substituted into the integrated rate equations for the first, second and third order reactions, and if we get constant K value, then that corresponds that order of reaction, for which equation the K remains constant, that corresponds that order of reaction. Graphical method. Here we consider the integrated rate equation, so there is need to remember the integrated rate equation in well manner. So the reaction is A is converted into the product. So to determine the reaction order by just observing the graph which fits one of the integrated rate equation. So in case of first order, the derived integrated equation is this, in which we put the value of integration constant I after just integration. So integration of A minus X is equal to minus KT plus integration of A. So here these values represents values of the y-axis. This is the mx and this is the c, that is y-intercept. Integration A represents y-intercept. Slope of the graph, what the curve obtained, represents k, but here we should get the straight line graph. Then only we say that this reaction follows first order. So let us see, when the data what we obtain from the experimental study by studying the reaction, we plot the graph log A minus X versus T, and if we get the straight line, then we say that the reaction is first order. Again we do this on trial and error manner, similar way as we do in the first method, integrate rate equation. Again we plot the graph 1 upon A minus X. If we don't get straight line here, we get the curve graph, then we say we again plot the graph 1 upon A minus X versus T. So if we get straight line, then we say this is the second order reaction. So if log of A minus X is plotted against T and straight line results, the corresponding reaction is first order. However, if a curve is obtained, the reaction is not first order. For second order reaction, if 1 upon A minus X is plotted against T, the straight line results, the corresponding reaction is of second order. However, if curve is not is obtained, curve is obtained, the reaction is not second order. We should get straight line. This means that data fits that integrated rate equation and the reaction follows that particular order. Third method is using half-life method. Here we perform two separate experiments by taking different initial concentrations of the reactant A1 and A2. The progress of the reaction in each case is recorded by analysis, means we take the reaction mixture, we analyze by suitable analytical method and we determine the concentration of the reactant remaining. So that is A minus X. When the initial concentration is reduced to 1/2, the time is noted. So at which the concentration is half, the time is noted. Let the initial concentrations in the two experiments be A1 and A2, while times for completion of half change are T1 and T2 respectively. So calculation of order of reaction. For first order reaction, half-life is independent of initial concentration. So for this it is not suitable. But for second, third and fourth or nth order of reaction, henceforth, half-life is directly proportional to 1 upon reactant concentration, initial reactant concentration. For the second order it is A, for third order it is A raised to 2, that is n minus 1. So when it is third order, then 3 minus 1, 2. When it is second order, 2 minus 1, 1. And when it is nth order, then n minus 1. So half-life is directly proportional to 1 upon initial concentration of the reactant. Substituting values of initial concentrations and half-life periods from the two experiments, here T1 is directly proportional to 1 upon A1 raised to n minus 1. Similar way, T2 is directly proportional to 1 upon A2 raised to n minus 1. So we take T2 upon T1 is equal to A1 upon A2 raised to n minus 1. So simplifying this equation, taking logarithm. So T2 log of T1 upon T2 is equal to n minus 1 log of A2 upon A1. Solving for n order of reaction, here n is equal to, so if we rearrange this equation, this log A2 upon A1 goes in the denominator and this T1 upon T2 remains on the numerator. So finally n is equal to 1 plus, so this 1 goes to here plus, this becomes plus. So n is equal to 1 plus log of T1 upon T2 divided by log of A1 upon A2. So we know the initial concentration A1 and A2. We know the T1 and T2. So once we know this is the T1 means half-life of the reaction. T1 is the half-life of the reaction when the concentration is A1 and T2 is the half-life of the reaction when the concentration is A2. So once we know this, we can determine n that represents order of reaction. So this is the formula to determine order of reaction by half-life method. So this represents the half-life equations. Now the fourth method is differential method. This method was suggested by Van 't Hoff and therefore it is also called as Van 't Hoff differential method. According to it, the rate of reaction of nth order is proportional to the nth power of the concentration. So rate of reaction of the nth order. So for example here dC by dt, C represents concentration is equal to K multiplied by C raised to n. So where C is the concentration at any instant, at any time. So when two experiments are performed with different initial concentrations, then the reaction becomes minus dC1 upon dt. So why negative sign is there? Because this is the initial reactant concentration and reactant is disappearing throughout as the reactions proceeds. So that's why negative sign, concentration of reactant is decreasing. So minus dC1 upon dt is equal to Kc1 raised to n. So n represents order of reaction. So that is equal to nth power of the concentration of the reactant. Minus dC2 divided by dt is equal to Kc2 raised to n. Means this n represents the power term of the concentration, and it represents the order of this particular reaction when the concentration of the reactant is C2. Taking logs of the equations 1 and 2, so it becomes log of minus dC1 upon dt is equal to Kc1 raised to n. Similar way, taking the log of, so here is the log of minus dC1 upon dt is equal to log k, solving this, plus n log C1. Similar way, log minus dC2 upon dt is equal to log k plus n log C2, solving, taking logarithm and solving it. On subtracting 4 from 3, we get this equation. So log of, so first we subtract the left hand side, that is log of, we are subtracting 4 from 3. So dC2 minus dt, log of dC1 upon dt, and log C1 minus log C2, log k minus log k will be 0. So here n is this one, it becomes common. So n represents the order of reaction. So to find n, dC upon dt in the two experiment is determined by plotting concentration against time. So the slope minus dC upon dt at given time interval is measured by drawing tangents. Using the values of slopes dC1 and dt and dC2 upon dt in the equation 5 can be substituted, and we get the order of reaction, that is n, because we know C1 and C2. So we plot the graph C versus T, concentration versus time. T at x-axis T will be there and on y-axis T will be there. So C versus T, we plot the graph, and the slope of the graph represents these values. So once we get the slope, we know C1, so we can determine the order of reaction by differential method. Now the last, fifth method for the determination of order of reaction is Ostwald's isolation method. This method is employed in determining the order of complicated reactions by isolating one of the reactants so far as its influence on the rate of reaction is concerned. Suppose the reaction under consideration is A plus B plus C. So 3 reactants are there and it gives product. So the order of reaction with respect to A, with B and C is determined separately. So for the determination of the order of reaction with respect to A, B and C are taken in large excess so that their concentrations are not affected during the reaction. Because at the same time we can't determine the order of reaction using all the 3 reactants in various quantities. So we keep the concentration of B and C in excess. So the reaction rate with respect to A is determined, order of reaction is determined. The order of reaction is determined by using any of the methods described earlier, that is by integrated rate equation or graphical method or half-life method or differential method, any one of the suitable method. In the second experiment, we keep the concentration of A and C. Likewise, the order of reaction with the respect to B and C is determined, means in the second experiment we kept the A and C in large excess and we vary the concentration of B and we determine the order of reaction with respect to B. Then in the third experiment we keep the A and B in large excess and we determine the order of reaction with respect to C. So now we get the order of reaction, that is Na, Nb and Nc. Means order of reaction with respect to A is Na, with respect to B is Nb, and with respect to C is Nc. The order of reaction N is then calculated by Na plus Nb plus Nc, and that N represents the overall order of the reaction A plus B plus C, which gives products. So this is the Ostwald isolation method. We isolate one of the reactant and we check the influence of its concentration on the rate of reaction, and we determine order of reaction. So all are the methods for determination of order of reaction. Thank you.